Yeah. It's getting crazy out here, y'all. Stay focused. Let's go, KD. Take a look around you. You're gonna find your way, man. Find your way, man. You're gonna find your way. Yeah, take a look around you. You're gonna find your way, man. You're gonna find your way. Yeah, I ain't talk is talk. And move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change the way. Got things to do. I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said, take a look around you. Nigga, find your way, man. Find your way, man. Find your way, man. I said, take a look around you. Nigga, find your way, man. Find your way, man. Find your way, man. Hey, you the one that say that. You and me go way back. When this whole thing over, I'ma send my invoice payday. You don't wanna say that. You don't want this payback. I keep my composure. This my kingdom, nigga. Stay back. We had a couple of moments. You had a choice, nigga, on it. Your real colors, they showing. I'm real, nigga. I'm focused. When I come around, I'm fly with it. Stay moving, do buy with it. New sound, just vibe with it.
He's heating up!
And we die with it. I see it like it's an optical. I never sit on the fence. Nothing to me is impossible. Music of me to the end. Most of the shit is illogical. All of y'all niggas depend on what they pretend. Just think what you had. Stop looking at trends. You wearing your eyes like it's topical. Clearly now, the pain is gone. The fame is on. And they play my songs. Yeah, it's real.
I am the danger.
Yeah, it's real. Yeah, I ain't talk is talk. And move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change the way.
Loud noises!
Done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said, take a look around you, nigga. Find your way, man. Find your way, man. Find your way, man.
Are there any women here today?
Find your way, man. Find your way, man. Find your way, man. New era, I got y'all. Real game, we pop
man.
off. No knockoffs. Open eyes, we watch out. Mobilize, won't cop out. COVID-19 cops out. Don't flop now. Open skies, we fly now. New agenda, they try now. Most y'all getting real scared of the headlines when you find out.
I'm your huckleberry.
Real near if you don't know, you behind now.
Just my game.
Government hide behind the lines. Most brands trying to monetize. All of us have to stay inside. Don't socialize. Yeah, talk is talk. And move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change your way. Got things to do.
Shampoo my crotch.
But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said, take a look around you, nigga. Find your way, man. Find your way, man. Find your way, man. I said, take a look around you, nigga. Find your way, man. Find your way, man. Find your way, man.
The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Yes, fat phobia causes incredible harm.
First of all, bitch, I'm a fat ass.
Our whiteness is part of the problem.
Ouch! My ribs!
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
Full Norman.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing, testing, testing. Test, 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 testing, testing, testicles, testing, testicles, testicles. Welcome, everyone, to episode 25 Hundo and Schnein de Quattro of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gangcast, mancast, pimpcast, sleevescast, and slaycast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Well, what's going on, beaches, booshes, busters, hustlers, and yo-hos? It's your boy, Papa Swolio, back with another episode. In today's episode, the Beastcast is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Everything K2, flexing on all you be
Fucking Catalina wine.
It's the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
Fucking Catalina wine mixer.
All right, fam, welcome to the show. Hit the thumbs up button no matter where you are watching, and make sure you check the links in the show notes below. We have some awesome shit going down inside the Swole fam, so join us today over there at swolenormousx.com if you are not yet a member, and get access to all the programs, yoga, meditation, and of course all the uncensored content that we release, like driving while gaining. We had another fire one last week. We have another epic one coming up this Friday. Don't miss out on any of that. And before we even get the nut busted open, a reminder that this Thursday, the 15th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, is Round Table 45. Roundtable 45 goes live. 45 goes live at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Join us for the Schwulfam Roundtable. That's right, the Schwulfam Roundtable this Thursday, June the 15th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll see you there. All right, drop in the comments down below. What are you smashing today? Again, hit the thumbs up button. And if you're watching or listening, either one, if you're watching also on Spotify or Apple Podcast, fam, if you have not yet done so, make sure you leave us a 5-star review if you enjoy the show. Wherever you listen, podcast time, make sure you leave us a review. It helps tremendously. And let's get into that nut. It's going to be an absolutely beast of an episode. It is Tainty Tuesday after all. Nailed it. Don't be a boosh, or you're gonna end up like Tainty my gooch. Tainty my gooch. Don't be a tainty my gooch. All right, fam. Hashtag Tainty my gooch for a chance to win today's Swole card. Don't be a beach, don't be a boosh, or you will end up like Tainty my gooch. And if you don't know what a Tainty my gooch is, please, fam, let's educate some new peeps in the comments below. What is a tainty magooch? How do you define a tainty magooch? How do you define what a tainty magooch is? Because you know they're out there. They're everywhere. So make sure y'all recognize they're everywhere. Let's get into that tip. Babe, just an inch, just an inch. It's cold outside. All right, fam. Hashtag tainty magooch for a chance to win today's Swole card. And we are going to get into some awesome Swole fam posts. Drop that hashtag in the comments. And like I said, we'll give away today's Swole card at the end of the episode. Where are we here? There we go. Beautiful. All right. Not only that, we got one more announcement. It's coming up in 6 days, P3S7 on the 19th of June. Fucking epic. Remember, you can get your exclusive Papa Swolio signature series release on the date of episode 2600. That's June 19th. It's available for 24 hours only. The address is swolenormousx.com/signature. And don't worry, I will be talking all about it. You'll be getting a Swole text and email. You'll be getting blasted on the day of that, midnight to midnight on the 19th. And it's a 1 day only event, so don't miss out on that. Just reminding you for the 19,000th time as we approach P3S7. Very exciting stuff. All right, let's get into the first Swole Fam post. Here we go.
What's in the box?
First Schwam. This one's from Nate. And then we're going to get into some email responses. Nate says, "What is up, beaches? I was introduced to Papa by a good friend and workout nut who he kept sending me videos with a long-haired, bearded fella yelling, 'Go to the fucking gym.' That's a really good friend. Very smart guy, too. My friend and I are both in law enforcement. While he took his 20s to develop a rock-solid habit of going to the gym, I kept the family tradition of working hard during the day, eating a bunch of shit in the evening, and sleeping like shit through the night. My habits have blessed me with an adult life of bouncing between the 220 and 300 fucking pounds. I have always lost, quote, weight easily when I tried, but I always went back to the shit food and booze because it was easier. Now that my age is closer to 50 than it is 40, my health has smacked me in the dick and made me pay closer attention to the wise words, go to the fucking gym. I'm on another journey to a leaner me. I'm encouraged because my heart isn't in it yet, but I'm still fucking doing it. I know weight isn't or shouldn't be the measuring stick, but it is positive feedback that I'm shedding large amounts of the nasty ass fat that has cursed me. A wrecked bad throbbing knee, wrecked back, that's a typo, throbbing knees, high blood pressure, and skyrocketing cholesterol. Cholesterol. Well, in the context, remember, high cholesterol isn't necessarily bad at all. Currently down from 298 pounds in February to 258 now in June. I'm feeling more flexible than I have in 15 years, and my daily pains have subsided. This Hoosier has a long way to go, but I'm going to spend the rest of my life fucking getting there. Every single day improving, getting better, and going to the fucking gym. Good for you. Welcome, Nate. Stoked to have you. All right. Excellent. Well, the thing is, all of us are spending our life getting there. You're never going to absolutely get there, but it always catches up. This is why whenever we cover these fat acceptance chodes, it's going to catch up. Notice how all these fat positive people are in their 20s or 30s. Yep, wait till they're in their 40s or 50s. You're not going to see as many TikToks. They're going to be, getting their limb amputated or going blind from diabetes. It's always nice to flaunt this shit while you're still, while it's fresh. You don't see a lot of these obese people in their 40s or 50s posting content. I mean, where are the body positive 50-year-olds? Do you see them? Do you see the 50-year-old obese person that's doing all this virtue signaling? But they look like they're in their 40s or 50s. A lot of you would say, well, they're all in their 40s. They look like it because they're so unhealthy. If you're in your 20s and you look like you're in your 40s, that's not a good sign. That's not a good start. They always look super fucking old. They look 10, 15, 20 years older than they are because their body is wrecked. Wrecked. Absolutely wrecked. Okay, now, if you love that knowledge cock, thanks for sharing, Nate. But if you want some more knowledge cock, get on the email list. We have another epic beast of an email going out today. Go to makeemailswoleagain.com. That's makeemailswoleagain.com and get on the email list. That's going to be absolutely fire. So get on that and get access to all the emails. They're going out pretty much every single day. You'll get several a week, so don't miss out on that. We got a couple responses. This one's from Peter from the Don't Feel Like Training Today email. Papa Swolio, I found your go to the fucking gym on Instagram more than a month ago. After that, your YouTube channel and podcast. Because of you, I started to go to the fucking gym at least 3 times a week and do other activities on the days I don't. Next action is to check out your 7 pillars and join the fam. Double biceps, Peter. Well, I thank you for the response, and I'm stoked that you found the content. Thank you so much for the comments and letting me know. And that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Just being consistent, focusing on those 7 pillars. And Peter, make sure you check out those right away. We look forward to you officially joining the fam, but make sure you check out those 7 pillars and start implementing them right away. You can start implementing them even before you officially join the fam. We got one from our very own Rihanna, and the email was, are you taking action? And Rihanna says, I don't blame you for being skeptical, Papa. Your emails are helping to pull me out of my mental funk, and today I'm going to work on my upper body and brain gains. I've been working on making sure that I'm staying consistent with not sitting all the time as I work as well, and doing brief workouts, pulling from the Swole in 7 series. Small things throughout the day have really been helping me be more active beyond just the regular workout. Rihanna. Thank you. Excellent.
Yow.
I'm skeptical. I always tell people to go to the fucking gym, and I'm like, are you actually doing it? You know, I love it when you guys are on the email list. I'm sending it out. I know people are reading it. I know people are reading the emails. I know you're reading them. But are you actually applying what you're reading? Don't just take in all this stuff. Oh, I've been listening to the podcast. And a lot of people listen to the podcast. They've been listening for months or even years, and they still haven't done anything. One, I appreciate the fact that you're giving me your time and attention. You're listening to the show. You're subscribed and all that stuff. But are you actually doing anything as a result of it? Are you watching the videos and like, oh, I should go to the fucking gym. Okay. What does that do? Oh, I should eat healthier. Okay. Yeah, you should. Yeah, you need to. Like, are you actually doing it? So it doesn't really mean anything until you actually start applying it. Okay, and last one. This one's from Ruo32 from the Don't Feel Like Training Today email. Papa Swolio, hello there. I've been vacationing in Puerto Rico this week, and guess what? I have gone to the fucking gym every day, and I'm minding my nutrition.
Yow.
Feels good to be able to take off my shirt with confidence and hear all the compliments from my friends and family about how good I look. Hashtag going to the fucking gym works from the big O. That's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. All right, so make sure you get on that email list. MakeEmailSwoleAgain.com. Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. Damn right. I'll stretch out your inbox. Get on the email list. Stop fucking around. Okay, let's get into some knowledge, cock fam. It's time for questions. If you have any questions, now's the perfect time to drop in the live chat. Hashtag AskPapaSwolio. And of course, if you want to leave me a message, call into the show, AskPapaSwolio.com. We're going to start off with a phone call. This one's from Will. You are on the Sleazy Sleazecast.
Hey, Papa Swolio. So, my question for you is, obviously, first off, you know that I've worked in the news business. I've mentioned this multiple times before. But the issue I've been curious about lately is, at the station, we have plenty of monitors that I stare at throughout the entire day that I work. So, I'm typically there by 4 a.m., and I get off around 1 p.m., but sometimes they'll have me stay later to help out other people with the station. And all I'm doing it every day is looking at monitors. It's nonstop. It's year-round. And my question for you is, what are some ways that I could help either with my eyesight throughout the day, or if there's any tools or devices that could help me with my eyesight? My biggest concern is that my eyes are just going to keep getting worse from looking at all the monitors. So if you have any tips for me, that'd be great. I appreciate it.
All right, well, great question, because a lot of people look at monitors, and even if you're not in a news station, come on, be honest, everyone's looking at their fucking screens. So people are looking at monitors, looking at TV, computer, whether you're at work or you're just on your own free time. So a couple things, I would make sure you give yourself a decent amount of time to look as far as you can in the horizon. So in the morning or when you're not at work or on a break, look into the distance, look as far as you can into the horizon, like trees in the very distance. Give your eyes something different to focus on. It's like a lens. So make sure that you give yourself a chance to look long distance at things. Don't stare at the sun or anything like that. But also blue light. So blue light blocking glasses. There can be covers for monitors and stuff. But if you're looking at multiple monitors, that could be challenging. I don't know how many different screens you're looking at. If it's one screen you're looking, it's going to be hard to have an application on the computer. For example, I have a Mac, so I have this app called Iris that I use. And if it's later in the day, I'll turn it on to like sleep mode. It turns everything blood red. Mama Solio and I, if we're watching a show or watching a movie, we don't watch TV, but if we want to watch something, I have my laptop that hooks into the TV, and I have it on my laptop. So we actually watch the TV. We put on the TV, and it's like a dark amber or even like almost red. So we can watch it like as we're eating dinner or something like that. We can watch a show, and it just, takes out the blue light completely. So anyway, I would look for some sort of blue blocking glasses. That can help tremendously, but I think it's also just focusing on things in the distance as well. So definitely give yourself some time to look at trees in the distance or look at buildings in the distance if you live in the city or something like that. So give yourself some distance changes. In terms of anything else from that, if anyone has any other suggestions, but if you're looking at screens, it's also the closeness of the screens and of course the blue light. So I would get some blue blocking glasses. that will take out the strain on your eyes from that. Yeah, look into the distance. That helps tremendously. Let's see. So everyone's saying blue light blocking glasses. All right, let's take more questions. We'll read some responses. Will says it's around 9 monitors, actually. So, okay, so 9 monitors, you're going to have a lot of problems like, hey, let me load up this app, and you might need to see color. But blue blocking glasses can take out a lot of that stress. And like I said, giving yourself longer distances to look at. Tyler says, or asks Papa Swolio, when it comes to going in a public pool with the chlorine and toxic chemicals leaching to the skin and body, would it be best to avoid it at all times or manage the time being in it? Yeah, either or. It's kind of like sex. If you don't want to get pregnant or get someone pregnant, then don't stick the PP in the vajiji. It just kind of, right? I mean, I'm not saying that's because people are like, but I want to have sex. It's like, yeah, but the purpose of having sex is to have a child. That's why it feels good, because evolution wants us to do that thing and then, more babies. So we're biased towards doing that. Obviously, it's not guaranteed that someone will get pregnant, but if you don't want to get pregnant, then don't put the baby batter, in the oven. So when it comes to a public pool, to be honest, I know the chlorine, when it comes to a public pool, the chlorine's the least of my, it's the least of my concern. If you're going in a public pool, you should be pretty grateful that there's chlorine and that there's tremendous amounts, because it's literally like sharing a dirty bathtub. I'm fortunate down here in Florida, we have the ocean, there's other issues with having pollution and stuff, but at least there's salt water, and it's quintillions, that's not even a good number, googleplexes of gallons of water and stuff that can sterilize and salt and shit like that. But yeah, public pools and chlorine and stuff, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. So I would definitely limit your time being in it. You can go in the pool, I get it, but you don't want to, and it depends. Some pools have more chlorine than others. If we actually got a pool, we're talking about some point getting a pool out there. We want to get a saltwater pool, but I think you still have to have some sort of chlorine. There might be some other, I think it depends. If it's a public pool, you need stuff that's stronger, because they're trying to kill all the germs, and who knows who's going in it and what issues are going to be in it, and people peeing in it and stuff like that. If it's your own personal pool, you could probably get away with some sort of natural things. But for example, and I'm not a pool expert, so if those of you that have pools, you might be able to do some sort of natural stuff, but you might have to be more vigilant, changing it out or adding more to it. Or there could be the potential maybe of like certain scum or buildup as a result of not using a harsher chemical. You just might have to be more vigilant with cleaning it more frequently. So there's a lot of different things you could do. For example, with a lawn, you could do lawn care like weed and grass killer and things like that. And you're putting glyphosate all over your yard. But if you have pets or you're walking around barefoot, you don't want that chemical in your yard. And I guess you could use things that are more vinegar based and stuff like that. Obviously more natural, but you might have to apply it more frequently, because it's not going to work as efficiently as these like synthetic or, harsher chemicals. Just some thoughts, but, yeah. That's all time right there. That felt so much better than it sounded to.
A 10! A fucking 10!
Oof. That felt good. My God. I think I literally lost like half a pound. Julian, Papa Swolio. Hey, Papa, I'm almost done with the 90-day dash. Fuck, yeah.
Inconceivable!
I've lost a lot of fat, about 35 pounds, and currently at 163. Which program would be best for gaining mass? Thank you. Well, I would definitely look into Swole Season. That's fantastic. You could also, like I said, we've talked about it. We announced the upcoming launch of Maximum Swole. So that's a great one that you can look forward to as well. But Swole Season is good to go. You'll build muscle with Scorched Earth too. That's a little bit more for muscular endurance. But if you want to focus on mass, anyone here would tell you that Swole Season, what's currently available, Swole Season, but Maximum Swole will also be excellent for gaining mass. Swole Season's your ticket, Julian. Good for you. How'd you like the 90-day dash? Obviously, if you lost 35 pounds of fat, you fucking love it, I'm sure. Lane, Papa's right. I have to turn away from my work screen. It helps for sure. Yeah, I would just give yourself a break, Will, from the screens, and give yourself some time to, readjust and refocus on different lens lengths, right? Yeah, Rebecca says turn your brightness down too if possible. Just might be hard for 9 monitors. And yeah, Will says there are no windows around my desk or in the control room. There are set monitors for default brightness, so other people need to use them. Then you got to wear glasses that allow you to take care of your eyes. Yeah, I'd be concerned too. Barrett says, statistically, women have a higher chance of getting pregnant than men. Interesting. Thank you for your...
Boys have a penis. Girls have vagina.
Interesting stat. Lane, let's see. When it comes to meditation, do you listen to music while you concentrate? Do you prefer silence? Yeah, no music. No music. Remember, it's not about trying to not think of anything or trying to have silence. It's about just being in the present moment. So what I like to do is I close my eyes. I just listen to sounds and listen to distant sounds. And remember, you're not trying to reach the sounds with your ears, like in your brain. Obviously, you're not, but like psychologically, you're just sitting there and allowing things to come in. It'll help you. Meditation will help you with traffic. It'll help you with annoying noises, because all you're doing is you're letting these noises. It's just things that are coming into your consciousness. It's just things around, and you're just observing them. So you might be annoyed by a certain sound of doing construction, but if you just close your eyes and just listen and just have the sounds come in, it's interesting just to hear, and you'll hear like a little bird chirping in the background. It's like different layers of a music track. Yeah, just observe. A lot of people try to meditate and try to not think of anything, and that's not how it's supposed to work. Because remember, if you're always meditating in this sealed off chamber, it doesn't give you any tools when it comes to the real world where there's sounds and things you can't control. So if you're practicing meditation in real world environments, it actually allows you to tap into this mindfulness and present nature and de-stress in those environments. You have to practice how you would apply. I'm not saying you can't go to a park and have a peaceful environment and meditate. That's great too, and you hear birds chirping. But you should be able to meditate anywhere and just tap into that and just observe. And it's relaxing. Once you realize, oh, I'm not supposed to just sit here and think of nothing. Of course you're going to be stressed out. I can't meditate. I can't slow down. No one can. You just have to you're just getting used to hearing those thoughts. You're getting used to the loud voices in your head, and eventually they start getting quieter over time as you practice. And eventually, if you're in traffic, you can just, oh my God, it's traffic. But I'm here, and just observe and look around, and it allows you to kind of allow things to brush over you or pass by you like a stream or a breeze. Just allows things to kind of wash over you. Remember, hashtag Tainty Magooch for a chance to win today's Swole. Any other pool advice? Cody the Deuce, I changed my pool over to a saltwater pool this year. Nice. Elizabeth says saltwater pools are better but require special filtration, but no real need for the chlorine. You have to clean them more often. We had one briefly. I would do it in absolutely. Yeah, obviously it's going to take a little bit more, but it's so much better than having chlorine. It's worth it. Again, it's one of those things where it's a responsibility. So a lot of people do those things where they'll get a boat, and like the famous quote down here, because in Miami, so many people have boats, that the best days of a boat owner's life is the day you buy the boat and the day you sell the boat. Because most of the time what I see is when I look and we have neighbors that have like boats in their yards and stuff like that. They're always just it looks like a huge fucking responsibility, and it looks more like a burden, in my opinion. I know some people love it and it's worth it. But, if you're going to get a pool and a saltwater pool, just understand that it's going to be that kind of, commitment along with it. I think it's much better. It's a smarter approach. Or if you can, you pay someone to maintain it, then you don't have to worry about it. It depends on the pool too, if you have above ground or below ground. Grizzly, I think I asked this already, but will you make the DWG Drive While Gaining jingles a ringtone anytime soon? We're going to do like an album, but I think we might just make them. That was a plan for a while, to make them ringtones, because we have ringtones available on papaswolio.com. But we'll get on that. That was an idea a while back, but now that we have the ringtones, we'll get some Drive While Gaining ringtones over at papaswolio.com. For sure. Tyler, Papa Swolio, have you thought about giving sample classes and workouts for the programs for people who can't afford it to see if they like it as well as testing? Yeah, we give out free workouts. We have links that we send out to people all the time. We have them in the link list. We have free yoga classes. We have free workouts and swollen sevens and things that we offer. Yep. We've been doing that since the beginning. We always have them in the link list. We're sending them out in emails. We're always putting them in Instagram stories. Like, hey, try a free class. Here's a free yoga class. And we have them, I think, in like the Instagram bios and profiles and stuff. Sandra Lebrun. I listen to Brain Gains every night. My sleep has been so much better. Fantastic. Isn't it awesome having a good evening routine? And anyone here, if you have personal experience, I always say it, but I always like to read your responses because it's real world experience rather than just coming from my mouth. How much has your mornings improved since you've started working on your evening routine? You're not going to have a good morning without a good evening. Not gonna. Barrett, daily meditation and 90 minutes of yoga a week has saved my life. Respect, man. Good for you. Frank says, I love listening to the sounds of the woods sometimes while hunting. I close my eyes and just listen, extremely relaxing, connecting with your surroundings. Well, this is why people really like fishing. Do you like catching the fish, or do you like the peace of nature and being on the water and just, and you're only focusing on one thing. You're focusing on just that, or you're allowing your thoughts. It's really just moving meditation. Hunting is kind of like a moving meditation. You're quiet. You're listening to nature. You're connecting with your humanity. It's very evolutionary. It's very fundamental to humans, hunting and fishing. I don't personally fish, but that's why people like it. Because you go fly fishing, you're in the middle of nowhere. You're just fucking there by yourself. I think in many cases, a lot of, if you're trying to get away from your family or your wife or something like that, or the nagging or the city life, how many people want to do that? How many people like to go fly fishing? Some. So you're like, hey, I'm going fly fishing. You want to go? Like, I was like, nah, no. You're like, sweet. I want to go by myself anyway. So now you got the points for being a nice guy for inviting people, and you get to go by yourself and get away from people. But anyway, that's all it is. So you can go for a walk. It's moving meditation. Again, it's just being mindful, and mindfulness is being in the present. You're not worrying about thinking about the future. You're just worrying about things that haven't happened yet. They're going to happen. You don't need to have them happen now. Enjoy it. If you're walking now, if you're with your dog now, this is why people need to be getting off their phones more. You need to get off your phones more because you're losing the present moment. You're just sucking your attention away into something in a square. If you're playing with your kids or you're playing with your dog, you're not really paying attention. You can't do two things at once. People really cannot multitask. You really can't. There's certain things that you can kind of do at the same time, listening to music and exercise, but you can't really multitask the way you think you can because you're not giving 100% attention to either. So they're both suffering technically. Let's see here. Let's see, Karen, I work on 2 screens. Use blue blocker prescription glasses, set an alarm to get up every hour, walk and look away from the screen. So that's a good idea to actually, I know you're working a lot, Will, but you can probably stand up and walk around, give your eyes a break. The Adidas penis. Let's see. Oh, Jesus Christ. Chantal Graft. Yeah. All the other countries are like, United States, what the fuck is going on with you? We don't know what the fuck is going on here. I mean, we do know. But Chantal says, what is up with the pictures of Biden with transgenders? Asking from the Netherlands, don't know what is real and fake anymore. Yeah, that's the problem with all this, AI shit. It's real, and it's absolutely fucking pathetic. Super cringe. It's fucking detestable. There's no reason for it. People need to do what they want to do, but if people are begging for validation. They're begging for attention. Again, it's just power and attention. It's pathetic. If you're secure in yourself, you don't need to be, I don't know. You don't need to be hypersexualizing children. You don't need to be flashing your fake tits. It's gross. It's gross. Hopefully people vote better in 2024 and they ignore the mainstream media ploys to try to, you know, imprison ex-presidents and shit like that. Hopefully people make a better decision this coming year. If they don't, I mean, if we don't get better leadership in the United States, you know, if shit doesn't change in 2024, another 4 years of this is going to be a fucking disaster. It just shows how much damage can be done in just a couple of years. Yeah, what is up with it? We don't know. And people with a triple-digit IQ are not in favor. Okay. Karen says, so true about the boat. Fun, but a lot of work. Absolutely fun. But this was kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like that. You get it, and you want, you know, it's fun. You enjoy, you've always wanted a boat and stuff, but then it's a lot of maintenance. I don't know. I think it depends. It depends on the individual. If that's like your passion, you don't care, you love doing it. But all I see are people just washing their boat all the time because you have to. You can't. You go in the water, you have to wash it and wax or whatever, so you get the salt water off and shit. It just seems like a lot of work. But hey, if you know someone that has a boat, we'll let them do the work and then just go on it. That's different. Because if you have a boat, you want people to come out on your boat with you. Hey, that's a win-win because you don't have to do jack shit. Danny Boy, Papa Solia, how can I not be dying thirsty at night? I drink water throughout the day, but right before bed, I crave water and end up pissing at like 5. Well, you shouldn't be drinking tons of water at night because then it's going to negatively affect your sleep. Are you drinking electrolytes? You might have an electrolyte imbalance. You might need more electrolytes. I have some early in the morning. I drink it throughout the day. And you want to taper off towards the evening so you're not interrupting your sleep to pee, or you just get up at 5. You know, if you're getting up at 2 or 3, if you just wake up to pee and go back to sleep, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's not going to negatively affect your sleep that much. It's better if it's continuous, but, you know, peeing and going back to bed, as long as you're not subjecting your eyes to blue light, turning on the light in the bathroom, you know, you might need more electrolytes, because if you're just drinking water but you're not getting enough electrolytes, and you're not actually hydrated. Water is not sufficient in itself. You need potassium, magnesium, sodium. Okay. Chantal, it's starting here as well. Apparently, we also have Pride Month and delivery vans in rainbow colors. It's very simple. Like any of these companies that start, I mean, it's the LG, like all that stuff, the Pride flag stuff, that's a cult. It's a cult. You can be gay if you want, male or female. No one really cares. I don't know anyone that actually really fucking cares. No one cares. But if you're trying to brainwash children, you're trying to groom children, if you're an aspiring pedophile, all this kind of stuff is absolutely sickening. It's disgusting. And we don't need a month for this shit. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It's unnecessary. And any gay people that we know down here, because Mama Swolio was a cosmetologist around gay people, and everyone here is like, they detest it. No joke. They fucking hate it. No one is down with that shit that we know. Everyone's just like, ugh. They just want to love who they love and like who they like, and no one cares. It's when you shove it in everyone's fucking face that people get upset. Again, I don't care. Like, do any of you care what I do in my house? No, it's my property. It's my house. It's my life. I'm doing what I'm doing. It's none of your business. This is my privacy. None of your fucking business. If I'm running around shoving what I'm doing in everyone's face and I'm forcing people to bend a knee and, you know, trying to cancel people for not accepting my delusions, you're encroaching on someone else's privacy and freedom of speech and their own property. You're infringing because your body and your speech, that's your property. That's your personal property. But this is why it's Marxism and socialism and communism. Like that's infringement on someone's personal property. There's no personal, there's no private property in those types of regimes. So that's like where it's eroding towards. Private property is essentially humanity. That's what human rights are. It's your private property. It's rights for your person. If someone's forcing you and compelling you to do things, that's an infringement on your private property, essentially. Okay. Cerny, Papa Soya, my daughter-in-law is getting her gallbladder removed today. You said Mama Soya had hers removed. Did she have to watch her diet afterwards or have any problems? I don't know exactly because that was before I met her. But she eats meat and butter and fat. She's had no problems. Like, she doesn't have her gallbladder. And she eats what I eat: butter, whole eggs, steak, raw dairy. Like, no issues. Your body I forget exactly what the mechanism is, but your body does just fine. I think the issue is why it has to be removed in the first place. It's usually because of lifestyle habits and stuff like that. But I don't know the details of what happened right after. All I know is that she eats, we both eat the same things right now. And she doesn't have any problems. Let's see. Danny Boy. I didn't see that. I didn't watch it, but I've listened to enough James Lindsay in my day. But yeah, Ben Shapiro had James Lindsay on. He's brilliant. He's literally the penultimate expert on Marxism and wokeness and all that stuff. So definitely recommend you checking out James Lindsay's stuff. He's the GOAT when it comes to that stuff. Frank Papasolio, doesn't the B in LGB mean there's only two genders by definition? Oh, shots fired.
I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
Yeah, you would think so. Notice how no one's bisexual anymore. No one's gay or lesbian anymore. That's not cool. It ain't cool. You don't get enough. Look, you don't get enough views. Hashtag lesbian, hashtag gay. You don't get enough attention. You got to be trans, or you have to be some other letter. You got to be pan or questioning or queer, or you got to have a couple spirits. Look, you can be two spirit, but you can't have. There's two spirits, but no gen. Like there's not two gen. It's again, it doesn't. It's all the same thing. It doesn't. None of it means anything. It doesn't. None of it means anything. All it means is listen to me. Do as I say. It's compelled speech. It's control and it's power. It doesn't mean anything. It's not supposed to mean anything. That's why there's always gonna be another letter. There's always gonna be another fucking thing. The whole point is not acceptance. It's not acceptance. That's the lie. That's the grift. It's not about acceptance. It's not about love. It's none of that shit. It's the hijacking of language and the pursuit of power. That's all it is. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. What else we got here? What else we got? A couple more questions or comments or things like that? Let's see. Yeah, right? Grizzly says these new gays are ruining it for the OG gays. Now you have OG gays, OGG, who just want to live their lives. Yeah, most people just want to live their fucking lives. Even like, because Mama Swolio was in the makeup industry, like they're trans people or, like they're not part of this activism shit. A lot of people just want to be left alone. Cody says two spirits like bipolar. Well, there's plenty of those. Amanda, I remember working with bisexual women. I would ask who they thought they'd end up with, and I kid you not, they said they will probably marry a man. Like, then why are you identifying as bi? It's because of birth control. It's because of estrogenics and the food and the environment. It's because of this push to hypersexualize women. It's like the feminist movements of being hypersexual and not staying pure, sex before marriage and stuff like that. It's just a slow erosion of that type of culture. But at the same time, a lot of women a lot of women are bi because they haven't found an actual man yet. Like they haven't found an actual man. Once you find a man, it's like, oh yeah, that's what I want. Like if you're around fucking soy boys, then you're just dating more women. It's like you're dating a woman anyway. And honestly, a lot of times the birth control completely fucks up a woman's hormones and what they respond to. Ooh, Shane, Papa for president. 2024, baby. That's our year. That's our year. Yeah, absolutely. Amanda says this was back in 2005. Yeah, well, this kind of shit's been going on since the 70s and 80s. The reason why it's hitting now, it's because of those generations. You had all this stuff infiltrating universities in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And guess what? Those people are having kids and it's compounded. So that's why it's hitting really hard now. It's the generational cycles and it's the economic cycles. There's a lot of turmoil in the world. So it's all generational. You know, you have some fringe in these liberal schools in the 80s. They have children in the 2000s. Now those kids are like 18, 19, 20. And they were raised with the same principles in the same fucking schools and the same. It's just, the cycles are fucking hitting hard now. And social media just exacerbates it, for sure. And I think it's exacerbated and it's also exposed it. So this stuff was going on, but COVID helped it tremendously. Social media improves things tremendously and it snowballs it. So the thing is, this is what, and one of the reasons why social media and the internet and connectivity, the reason why things have ramped up so much is because it's global now. So you have all these different things that people connect with across the entire world. So there's a lot more people and there's a lot more people to connect to. There's a lot more room for these thoughts and ideas to spread. Whereas you would just have your local community and there might be a gay person, right? You didn't connect with like millions of gay people around the entire country or the world. You didn't have that connectivity. So it just also seems that way. This is why when you go online, it's a hot fucking mess, right? Because everything's concentrated. You have a 5-inch screen and you have all you see is X, Y, and Z, whatever the algorithm shows you, whatever is trying to keep you engaged on the platform and get you angry and so on and so forth. But then you go out in your, and some places are different, Chicago, New York, DC, San Francisco, you see the erosion as a result of it. And you see a lot of this stuff because it's concentrated people. But then you go to your local town, like I'll go on, like, for example, I'm on social media, like, holy shit, blah, blah, blah. But then if I walk down my street, I see police flags, I see American flags, I see Let's Go Brandon flags. I just, I don't see it in my area. Never, I don't see any of it. I see people, people making deliveries, every different race and people, everyone's just fucking cool. Everyone's just chill. So it's like you go on social media and everything's concentrated in your face. But then a lot of times you go out in your local community and you don't see this stuff as much. It's coming out more and more. But my point is it's spilling over. It's all the real world, but it's spreading more. So you're starting to see it more in person. But I'm just saying, when you had communities before, the percentages, right? So let's say in every community you had, just an example. Let's just use gay as an example. Let's say every town has 5,000 people or whatever. Let's say average, whatever. You have a gay person. Okay. How many towns, whatever. So if you multiply that by, let's say there's a 2 million or 5 million gay people or 2 million, whatever it is. Online, it's fucking everywhere. Like everyone's online at the same place. Everyone's on this digital space, but you might only run into a trans person or a gay person or whatever you want to call it once in a while or rarely, if ever, just because of the percentages and the concentration. So it spreads, but obviously the uptick in trans, the uptick in all this nonsense is the mind virus, and it's kids looking for connection and being brainwashed since they're in school, and social media helps, but trans is the new goth. And if you're in 6th or 7th or 8th grade, you don't fit in. I remember that time period. Everything's awkward. You're trying different. I remember you're trying, and we always talk about it. You try different things. You wear baggy pants. We did like the skater. Everyone had like chain wallets for a year. And then people did this and then people did that. Kids try different things. Kids try different hairstyles and different outfits. There's that point in middle school and high school that everyone's trying to, it's different now because everyone has social media, so it's more distributed. But you used to have different themes. You used to have different, right? This is why in the 80s, the 90s, early 2000s, you had the jocks, you had the nerds, you had this. It's because it was kind of consistent. It was that type of person, people that liked video games and chess and computer coding and stuff like that, and whatever, Dungeons and Dragons, and you had people that liked sports. Then you had the girls that liked makeup and stuff. And then you had, right? So you had these different groups. It's just different ideas, but you didn't have 1,000 different options like social media exposed you to. You had the basics. Schools had sports. Then they had like shop or construction. Then they had, board games or the library. So it's just a different phase. You had less cultural things. Like it's like the Beatles. The Beatles were rock and roll. It was just the Beatles, or it was Elvis. And you had one channel on TV. Now when you have the internet, every different YouTube channel, Matt, you have billions of channels and different places to look. That's why there's so much chaos. Yeah, you had band, right? The band nerds. But that's what I'm saying. You pick one, right? You pick one with what you're exposed to, but that's all you were exposed to because you didn't have a cell phone with a billion different hashtags and different things. That's it. It's literally just a phase. And I remember it because I went through them. Everyone does. You go through a different haircut. I remember when I was little, like bowl cuts or mushroom cuts or whatever it was popular because of Jonathan Taylor Thomas or whatever that time period was, like Macaulay Culkin, or I don't know what it was. So a lot of kids had certain haircuts for like a little bit, and they're like, we don't like that. They do something else, or you wear certain types of shirts or certain type of clothing. Or when I was in high school, that was like peak Abercrombie, and Abercrombie was like really popular when I was in high school. So if you were cool, you would wear these fucking overpriced pants or these t-shirts that were too expensive for most people to buy, like anything else. Or Birkenstocks. I don't know if that was in college, right? Those like leather sandals or shit like that. Or I forget if it was college. I don't know if kids still do it, but remember pop collars? Kids would pop the collar, right? The polos. We always had the boating fucking kids, or the kids that had a lot of money and stuff like that. They would wear these weird like light green shorts and these like fucking pastel pink polos with the collar popped. Huge tool bags, but that's what they wore, like Lacoste and stuff like that. So people just do that shit. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's all it is. That's all it is. Now, if you don't fit in, you're not goth, you're the opposite sex or something, and now you're trans. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's just much more sinister now. People used to cut themselves. Now they're cutting off body parts. It's just a progression of cutting in so many ways. Oh my God. Ed Hardy and Affliction. Yeah. I have an Ed Hardy like tee that's like ripped to shreds. It's so comfortable though. A friend of mine gave it to me. He's like, I'm not want this shirt anymore. It was like 20 years ago. He's like, do you want it? I'm like, all right. I don't even know what it was. And I still have one of them in my closet. It's like a workout shirt that's like ripped on like the shoulders and stuff like that. Yeah, mullets. Yeah. People just used to cut their wrists and stuff like that. Now they're moving to different genitalia. Get some help. Get some help. All right, balls deep time.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! That's deep. Inconceivable!
Okie dokie. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Here we go. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh my God. One, ew. Let's see if we got any short ones. Yikes. Holy shit. Cringe. And gnarly. All right, I'm going to start us off. Let's get what we got here, fam. Pick a number 1, 2, 3, or 4. All right? 1, 2, 3, or 4. I'm going to start us off.
What's in the box?
This one's called food quality. And the response to a question says, so you basically don't eat. Let's see what this person says. Let's see what this is about.
Just because someone chooses not to blindly follow the standard American diet of GMOs, processed food, meat, dairy, eggs, and sugar doesn't mean that they're not properly fueling their body. So this is what I eat in a day as someone who prioritizes food quality and nutrient density. For breakfast, I had this organic turmeric protein bar and this matcha vanilla mushroom elixir.
All right, so the first thing that she said, I agree with. People are going to give you shit no matter what you eat, but yeah, green drink and matcha vanilla. Off to a great start.
And then for lunch, I had this organic coconut yogurt with hemp seeds, cacao nibs, and chia seed jam. I drink this
okay.
herbal sparkling water, and for dinner, I made a quinoa bowl with vegan pesto, arugula, tomatoes, artichokes, and pumpkin seeds. And then I snacked on this evolved organic chocolate bar.
Oh my God. Tell me you desperately need food. That's upsetting. So if you look at the video, I mean, look, everyone to each their own, but she's underweight by my standards. I don't see any muscle tone. She just looks like skinny fat. So, you know, I'm sure a lot of people aspire to have a similar body like hers, but I mean, talk about needing a steak. Just my opinion. Yikes. Look, all these fucking foods, glyphosate, tons of, fucking like the oats and shit like that. Oxalates, phytic acid, tons of very high carbohydrate, super processed foods. I don't know. I don't know. Gross. That sounds nasty. And when the video ended, she just ate a massive fucking steak. Look, this is one of those things that's really a downside, especially for women, like bone density. She's probably going to have osteoporosis when she's older, and yeah, gnarly. Matthew said, my asshole just cried. I'm still waiting for the real food. Yeah. All right, let's get into a video. Let's see what we got here. Let's go with Danny says 8. Well, that's not going to fly. Let's go with Julian, number 2. Julian, number 2. All right, okay. I guess we're jumping right into the pedophilia. Okay, so this one's called Kids and Kink. It's hard to say this. Kids and kink can coexist.
Matt Damon.
Can or should? You mean pedophiles? You mean pedophilia? You mean child rape and assault and destruction of innocence? Okay, so there's a question on the screen or a comment. It says, I've never seen kink at Pride that felt inappropriate for kids. Pretty much everything that I see at any kind of, quote, Pride event is inappropriate for kids. The problem with all this Pride stuff, it's not the same as lesbian or gay. Pride is the cult that tries to hypersexualize. It's pretty much is a kink. It's a fetish because you have to, it's like voyeurism, but not voyeurism. It's exhibitionists. That's all it is. You know, you're wearing leather, you're putting strap-ons. Like you get off on being hypersexual in front of other people and in front of people that might not like it, in front of kids who can't. It's this weird kind of control and power because kids can't consent. So anyway, let's watch the video. I don't want to assume what this person's going to talk about, but what I said is still true.
I want to clarify this for a second here. I'm not saying that kink isn't kid-friendly. I'm saying that kids and kink can coexist at Pride in a totally fine way.
They can't. Kids and kink literally cannot coexist at all because kink is sexual. Kink is a fetish. It cannot coexist, or it can, but that's literally pedophilia. That's literally grooming. That's literally abuse. So can is different than should. No, it should not. Is it immoral? Abso-fucking-lutely. I don't care what you do in your bedroom. You can peg each other all fucking day. I don't give a shit. Keep the kid. Again, people are getting banned and censored for saying, leave the kids alone. Fucking leave the kids alone. Don't abuse kids physically or mentally or emotionally. Just fucking leave the kids fucking alone. That's it. Why is like that? The sick, twisted fucking part is that is what fringe. Oh, it's white supremacy. Oh my God. Am I a Trumping Republican because I say don't fucking sexually assault kids? Oh my God, I'm such a bad person. Don't listen to the brainwashing. Again, don't let any of this mainstream or people in your workplace or family or coworkers, don't give them a fucking inch. I'm telling you, don't give anyone an inch. Not an inch, not a fucking centimeter. Not a centimeter. Don't. Someone tries to take a fucking centimeter, you stomp your fucking foot down. Not a goddamn fucking chance. Not an inch. You don't give a fucking inch. Remember we were talking about like a year or two ago? It's like once they start fucking coming after the kids, shit's going to go down. You've seen the riots. You've seen the protests. You've seen like the clashing, you know, Antifa showing up at school, starting shit. They're just trying to use this to reflect bad against people that would vote for Trump or Republican. It's warfare already. The cult hath taken over, and there's many different aspects to it. There's many different aspects, many different layers of this kind of oppression dynamic that's being wielded by authoritarians that are keeping the quote peasants squabbling. Because like any kind of communist or Marxist revolution, guess what? Guess what? You're being used. You're being used as a pawn, and the people that are in power are going to solidify that power and continue that centralization. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. People are complaining about about what the income and the wealth disparity. Yeah, that's what fucking communism does. It increases the wealth disparity. Under the guise of equality, right? On the guise of equality and equal outcome and everyone's share, the same for everyone, love and compassion, as millions and millions of people die as a result of it. Keep going. Keep going. Don't read your history. I mean, read your history, but after they change it. That way they can continue to brainwash you. Seriously, if you want to know what's happening, just read some fucking books. Please read some fucking books that haven't been manipulated. Okay.
Nuance here that making an event in a totally fine way. There's a nuance here that making an event kid friendly doesn't mean sanitizing it, aka taking something like kink out of Pride. Making Pride kid friendly is not the same thing as sanitizing Pride.
It's absolutely the same fucking thing. By the way, Pride's not appropriate for kids, period. It's not appropriate for kids, period. I don't care what the fuck you do to it. Pride is all about sexuality. It's not about human fucking rights. Shut up. It's about your sexuality and fetishizing being an exhibitionist in front of other people. Okay? It's not appropriate for kids, period. You can do whatever you want to it. The fundamental concept of it has no place being around children. Okay.
Making a Pride event kid friendly, or I prefer kids safe, is about making sure we're including and putting kid and youth voices and including them in Pride and particularly any justice spaces.
Cool. This person's a pedophile. This person is evil. This is what evil looks like. Evil does not necessarily have a gun to your head. Evil does not look like a fucking big red dude with hooves, right? Like the classic devil image. Evil comes in many different ways. This is another aspect, and this is just a shade of evil, and probably much worse. I'd rather have a big fucking red thing with hooves, because at least you'd see it on its face and you'd know, like, oh shit, that looks pretty fucking evil.
Kids and youth voices are vital to justice movements because they are
able to be brainwashed and manipulated. That's why kids, because the next generation, right? 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 They don't have, the left doesn't have kids, they have yours. They're able to manipulate yours. Why do you think a lot of them have 10 fucking cats and they're trying to brainwash your children in school? Because people want to exercise power. People want to exercise control over other humans. Fundamentally, humans want to do that. But guess how you exercise? Tell me, fam, how do you exercise control over other humans? You have children. You have children. You have control over your children. You know why? They're your children. You get to raise them the way you want. You can teach them what you want. You can give them the values that you want. Why? Because you're the fucking parent. They're yours. Kids don't have the choice. Oh, listen to your children. No, teach your children. Discipline your children. Instill your values in your children. Children do not get free fucking thought. When they're older, they can. This is literally the nonsense that the left keeps promoting. That's the game plan. You can't fucking discipline kids anymore. Like, oh, you're being so overbearing. Oh my goodness. No, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. It's your rules. They're your kids. My fucking dog. Like, I don't care if it's sunny out. I don't care if he feels like it. If I say down, Rufus is going to be down. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. If I say down, I don't care where we are or what's going on, and he doesn't, he's gonna go down. He's gonna sit. Why? Because I said so. That's it. He's gonna do what I tell him to do because he's my fucking dog. Same thing with your kids. When they're their own person that you've raised, then they can go out in the world and then they can make their own choices. But they should be making their choices based on how you raise them. They're your children. They're your fucking offspring. And you're in control. And this is what people are lacking. They're lacking their own sense of control because they haven't actually closed that loop. They have this open loop of not having children, of not having any kind of control and self-discipline. They've been handed everything, kept in a bubble, and they're taught to be afraid of everything. So they get indoctrinated in school. They go through all this liberal bullshit throughout college. Then they graduate with a bullshit master's degree and they go and they teach at an elementary school. They've been in this fucking bubble their entire lives. And it just compounds. It's incest. It's educational indoctrination incest. You have someone that received bullshit education teaching other people bullshit education. It's like the game of telephone. It gets more and more warped and retarded over time. And that's what's happening. You're having stupid people graduate that are teaching kids and they're becoming stupid and they're growing up and they're teaching kids because they're fucking stupid. It's just stupid compounded. It's just literally education incest. All right, 10 seconds of idiot.
Vulnerable and marginalized group on their own, which includes their intersecting identities and oppressions. So I'm not saying that kink isn't appropriate for kids. I'm saying they can and should coexist with each other.
Okay, I'm saying it's inappropriate for kids. You're an evil person. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself.
Go absolutely fuck yourself.
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
Okie dokie. By the way, fam, we're available on all platforms. This isn't going to stop. It's going to get worse. And we're coming up on political season. So, you know, things are going to get even more restrictive. So if you make sure you follow the Daily Swole on Rumble also, because I stream there also. And if YouTube, I don't know, starts, you know, with a ban hammer, then the stream will continue elsewhere. So just make sure that you're plugged in and you're on the email list or whatever. And, you know, we're not stopping. I will not say what you want me to say. That's for fucking sure. All right, pick a number 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3.
What's in the box?
Yeah, Mandy says kids say ew when their own parents kiss in front of them. It makes them uncomfortable and they shouldn't be forced to be exposed to hypersexuality. Think about that. From the Daily Swole Telegram, we got Nate, number 2. Nate, Nathaniel, number 2. Nate, you did this to us.
Matt Damon.
I like to caress rusty spoon.
All right, so Nate chose number 2. I guess Cerny and Julian did also. So everyone, let's hate on Nate. Nate, we love you, but now we get to blame you for choosing this absolute pile of garbage. It's called puberty blockers. So you kind of know what you're going to get. We might finish up with this because my head might explode. It's responding to a question that says, imagine, let me try to make it bigger because I'm trying to read it first. It says, imagine thinking that children should be able to just hack off limbs if they feel like it. It's a very dumb idea to allow toddlers to do that. Yeah, I think it's stupid to allow most people to just cut off body parts voluntarily. You can't drive, you can't drink until you're a certain age, you can't smoke, but you can just, you know, stop your fucking genitals from forming. It's insane. It's fucking insane. And there's no debate about that. It's absolutely fucking insane. Okay, here we go. Thanks, Nate.
Puberty blockers are a hormone that minors can take to prevent their body from going through irreversible physical changes that their brain will not agree with. Going through puberty when you are...
I'm sorry, what? Hold on a second.
Matt Damon.
Jesus Christ. Can we stop using the words can? Yeah, I know. You can also punch a kid in the face, but doesn't mean you should. The word can, like, fucking hell, man. All right, I got to hear that again because I want to make sure it was as retarded as I thought it was.
Puberty blockers are a hormone that minors can take to prevent their body from going through irreversible physical changes that their brain will not agree with.
So it could stop kids from going through irreversible changes. Well, guess what? Puberty blockers are irreversible. Anyone that says not, obviously is lying. Let's continue.
Going through puberty when you are trans causes irreversible psychological damage.
We also know that people that are using puberty blockers are super high rate of suicide. And if you're being honest with yourself, people that go through these kinds of life-altering surgeries, and they have a lifetime of medication, pain, mental distress. It's brutal. It's brutal.
Makes you have to get corrective surgeries in the long run. No one is out here mutilating toddlers. However, what's a circumcision? Now that you bring it up, I think it's a really dumb idea to...
I don't disagree necessarily, but that's a religious thing. But yeah, most places in the world, I think, don't have circumcisions, but the United States does that a lot. But guess what? It's also, it's like the medical industry, right? You're making a lot more money if you're doing that at a hospital or X, Y, and Z, right? So it's additional charges. So anyway.
Allow a mother to make a choice for her infant child without that child's consent to cut off the tip of their appendage that will irreversibly damage and affect their sex life forever.
Also not the same. Also not the same. I'm not saying that circumcision is good or bad. I mean, that's a whole different conversation, but definitely not the same. Definitely not the same. Like, not the same. Like, I don't think it's there for a reason. It's there to protect the tip of the penis. It's there to improve and maintain, sensitivity, et cetera, et cetera. Definitely not the same as cutting it off, and not the same as chemically sterilizing. So let's be honest about the conversation here.
Cosmetic surgery that is completely unnecessary.
It's not the same thing. So again, you're not cutting off the dick. Culture, religions, fine. And you can definitely disagree with circumcisions. Not the same thing. Okay.
We're going to compare that, an actual surgery done to infants without their consent.
Not even fucking close to the same thing. I will also say this. Not even fucking close to the same thing. Guess what happens when you get circumcised? You can still have kids. You still have full function of your dick. Any problems? No.
To a medication given to a minor.
Keep making my point, Mochambo.
That is from their doctor and with parental consent.
Yeah, it's called evil.
Comparing something where an infant that cannot even speak English or advocate for it.
You're talking about again, this is not an actual argument. I don't know. I mean, obviously, the whole point of this person making the video is not to actually have an honest conversation. Is to make a false equivalency.
Self to a 12-year-old asking their parent if they can go to a transgender physician for assistance.
12-year-olds cannot consent either, in case you haven't noticed. And a lot of states are now saying that you don't have to get your parental consent. So you're equating cutting some skin, cutting the foreskin off for religious or whatever reason, no damage to the penis. I mean, aside from, I'm not saying you have to agree with it, but let's be honest with the conversation here. To let me not fully form my glands, my hormones, before I actually hit puberty, which is a fundamental growth period for a male or a female in order to come into full adulthood. So let me literally chemically castrate myself, stop any ability to have children, to fully develop my bones, brain function, all of it.
My mind is just blown. No doctor will perform a transgender corrective surgery on somebody under 18.
This is incorrect as well. A transgender corrective surgery on somebody under 18. Okay. No doctor will perform a transgender corrective surgery on somebody under 18. So you don't consider chemical castration corrective surgery. You don't consider that any kind of physical damage. You don't consider mastectomies. This is all, you don't need parental, because isn't Oregon is 15 years old or something like that? Yes, doctors will. Yes, doctors are. Are you fucking crazy? I mean, obviously. Yeah. And this is the problem. Evil is protected. Evil has power. So when you have people like this, right? And you talk out against it, then you're I'm all of a sudden the bigot by their standard. I'm the bigot, right? I'm a transphobe or I'm a whatever fucking phobe, right? It's my fault. I'm the bad one. Whereas I'm not advocating for any kind of assault on children. I'm not trying to chemically castrate children or babies or anyone. Okay? So remember, if I say something about these lunatics, then I'm the evil one. I'm the one that gets canceled. I'm the one that gets censored. I'm the one that, right? And all the other people that are making content that's similar to this, that are talking out against it, they're the ones that get pushed back. That's because this kind of evil has power. And the government, authoritarians, and people that are trying to leverage the financial system, they're using these people as literally the arm of dissent. Like, they're using these kinds of ideologies and these kinds of cultish behavior as the militant arm of their political power grab, because this creates dissent amongst the people. It keeps us, squabbling and arguing about, these are very important issues, but it also distracts them from, hijacking the monetary supply and printing more money and, corruption in Russia and Ukraine and, in China. It's all a cover up, a distraction. It's just the fragmentation of our society. But it doesn't make this any less evil. And it doesn't make it any less important to push back against. It's just another thing. And that's why it's being promoted. That's why you have this pride event on the White House fucking lawn. And you have these weird fetishists that are showing their fake fucking tits and mastectomy scars and stuff like this. It's just fucking repulsive. As if that has anything to do with anything that's really important to a successful nation and a successful culture. Like, shit's much worse than people think. And this is what happens. Evil grows and grows and grows, and it gains momentum while people just sit around and be like, oh, well, other people will stand up and think, this is crazy, but I can't say anything. And this is how it progresses. And the left is going to continue to gaslight you and make you think like, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, it's just about love is love. And it's about acceptance. It's about acceptance till they show up on your fucking doorstep with fucking the rifles that they're trying, and the AR-15s that they're trying to take away from you. They're not anti-gun. The left isn't anti-gun. They're anti you having a fucking gun. They're not anti-Second Amendment. Or, I mean, they are anti-Second Amendment as long as they have the guns. The people can't have, the government can. So don't get it twisted. It's all a big smokescreen. They're so loving, compassionate, and they're the ones that are warmongering. They're the ones that are trying to cancel people. Canceling is literally digital murder. They're taking away your livelihood to make money and to reach people. So they want the control. And they hate anything that takes away their control. They hate Donald Trump because he calls out the state, and he calls out, and for all his faults, I mean, he exposes a lot of shit and says a lot of stuff out loud. He says the quiet part out loud in most cases. That's why they freaked out when Elon bought Twitter, because, oh my God, he's a bigot, he's evil, and now it's a right-wing site. No, it's just not a left-wing biased cesspool of garbage. It's not a right-wing conservative app now. It's just not what you want it to be. That's all it is. Okay, good rant. Let's continue this. I can't believe there's more. Yeah.
That is not happening anywhere, period. What is happening is 12-year-olds don't want to go through irreversible changes to their body like I did.
12-year-olds don't know what they want. Trust me, I know. I was 12. I understand what a 12-year-old thinks. I was in 7th fucking grade. Talk about not knowing anything about the world or anything that you want. So I'm sorry that you weren't hugged as a child. I'm sorry that you didn't get the love and support from your parents. I mean, that's unfortunate, but every 12-year-old should be going through puberty in order to fully grow into a human adult that can make their own decisions. As a society, that's detestable and disgusting, and it's child abuse. Okay.
There are trans kids that have ended their lives because of the fact that they had to go through puberty, because these states are taking away their rights to healthcare. Are you that bigoted and awful that
bigoted.
You would rather a trans child end their own lives?
Pause. All right, this is the problem, right? Bigoted and awful. But how is it bigoted to say children should be protected? It's not bigoted. Again, it's gaslighting. So it's that flip. It's not true. That you would rather a trans child end their own lives. So this individual is equating the fact that I think children should not be abused, children should not be manipulated, children should not be slaughtered, children should not be, put on chemical castration medication, that they're equating that with, I would rather a trans child end their own lives. My opinion, there's no such thing as a trans child. There are many confused children because of social media, because of brainwashing in school, because of garbage food, because of lack of parenting and a cohesive family unit. There's a lot. And the finances and the devaluation, the debase of the currency in this country for decades and decades adds to that, because now you have both parents that need one or two jobs in order to make ends meet. They're more disconnected from their family. They're not home enough with the children. Like, there's all different components of that. So when you keep on devaluing the dollar, people have to work harder for less, and they have to be out of the house more. So guess who raises your children? The state. And guess what kind of foods they eat? Ones that are pumped full of corn and soy and glyphosate and atrazine and shit that's been shown to fucking, right? They're turning the frogs gay, right? Alex Jones, absolutely right. Turns the frogs gay, and guess what it's also doing? It's feminizing men and it's masculinizing women. It's all different layers. You can't point to any one thing, which is the argument that they make. Well, you can't just... No, it's everything. It's absolutely everything. If you're groomed mentally and sexually with all this other stuff, plus you're fed garbage food, plus you're not being actually parented, you don't have any real values because technology killed God and there's the decay of our culture. It's progressive over time. As social media and as TV, people blame social media. It was also TV. It was also cable. It's also just like that connectivity where you can spread these kinds of mind viruses quicker. When you had this kind of culture, right? We talked about phases in the 90s and the 2000s. It's because you would see it on, the early AOL. You would see it on the internet. You would see it on MTV. And then you'd have different things. You'd have backwards hats, and then you would have whatever it is, emo, or you'd have Green Day. You'd have all these different things, but now it's just completely broken down and segmented. But this ideology still is crossing over. So it's much more sinister because that ideology looks different in different places. It's the same, right? The trans stuff is the same as the fat acceptance and the body positivity. It's the same as the oppression with BLM and all that grifting. It's the same. It's just different aspects of it in different places. It's the same as ESG. It's the same. The Green New Deal, it's the same all across. It's just different manifestations of it. And guess what? People want power. So it looks coordinated. In many cases, in some cases, it is coordinated, but it might be coordinated in different divisions. There might be a few people pulling strings, but it's also people with self-interests, people that want to make money, that want more power, that take advantage of these situations for their own self-interest. And it just coincides because guess what? If you're a fat person, your own self-interest is I'm the victim, I'm this. So you get into this body positivity, fat acceptance. Now it's trans rights. Trans rights are human rights. Love is love, blah, blah, blah. And you just start manipulating children and getting power there. And then you have people with this ESG bullshit narrative and like the DEI and diversity, equity, inclusion. And it's all just different layers of virtue signaling and manipulation in different areas. People are in different areas of life and different aspects of society and the economy, and everyone's looking and grifting in their own fucking way. So it looks different, but it's not. It's the same. It's just manifesting in different areas. 13 seconds, I'll have a throwback.
Than to receive medication just because you don't like it or it's against your religion. Would you
okay.
rather they die than
Nope.
you have to look at them? Really?
See how that's dork bait? Yeah, dork is right. See how that progresses? You'd rather they die than you look at them. Is that what I said? Oh, I just said don't physically destroy children. I said don't cut off children's genitals and castrate them. Did I say I want trans people to die because I don't want to look at them? You see what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. So we'll leave it there. But that was... You can't fix that kind of stupid, unfortunately. Some people are so lost. And this is why I think we should be optimistic in the sense that we have to keep on pushing back and fighting against this, but understand also that that kind of mentality, there's no saving that. Again, that's the frightening part, I think, is that how do you actually you can't use logic because there's no logic. You can't use logic. You can't use information. We are not fringe. This is not fringe. This is common sense. Do what you want. Leave, like, it's not complicated to not try to, destroy kids' bodies. But how do you bring that back? Right? You can't reason with it because there's no logic. If you're not having a conversation with the same logic, if you're not on the same plane with logic, you can't have a conversation. So if one person says up is down and down is up, and the other person says white is black and black is white, and one says 2 + 2 = 5, and one says 2 + 2 = 4, like, how do you have a conversation? You can't. Your fundamentals of reality are different. Like, your perception of reality, one has a fundamental, logical, observable, common sense approach, which is not so common anymore. And you have someone who's just completely inverted. Like, how do you have a conversation? You can't. One person's off the reservation. The other person's like, okay. And you see this all the time. You can't convince, there's no convincing, there's no using logic because they refuse to. That's not the point, right? The point is not to get to truth. The point is not to or discuss the truth. There's no your truth or my truth. There's just the truth. There's no incentive. The whole point is to avoid that. Because if you actually look at the truth and you look at reality, their house of cards falls apart immediately. So that's why it leads to screaming. That's why it leads to cancellation. That's why it leads to like la 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 la. Because otherwise, it's just laughable. And that's why there's no sense of humor. That's why there's no laughing. That's why it's just miserable. That's why there's no humor on that side with any of this, because it's laughable. So you can't have any humor. You can't address it for what it is because it falls apart. Okay. That being said, let's get into
what's in the box.
Throwback time. Let's fucking go. It appears the far right has taken advantage of pandemic at-home fitness trends to expand the decade-plus radicalization of physical mixed martial arts and combat sports spaces.
I'm not reading this. I'm gonna.
No, please.
I think you might be dyslexic.
Read the script once.
I can't believe I'm reading this. MSNBC is the fucking worst of the worst. Earlier this month, researchers reported that a network of online, quote, fascist fitness chat groups on the encrypted platform Telegram are recruiting and radicalizing young men with neo-Nazi and white supremacist extremist ideologies.
Somebody sure likes to use his big words.
New recruits are later invited to closed chat groups where far-right content is shared. Like, what is considered far-right content? You mean like facts now?
Talking facts. Cold, hard facts.
Facts are considered far-right, so I don't know what this means. What did I say? Fascist? Hold on, I say fascist fitness chat groups. What, people like talking about their bench and their bench PR? What are your macros, bro? Oh, white supremacist. Oh, white supremacist. Oh.
It is not my place as a smaller bodied white man to comment on it.
Oh my God. That was a good one. I love the palate cleansers. I love the fucking throwback, right? Everyone's like, yes. Fantastic. That was fucking great. That was fan-fucking-tastic. Oh my God. Excellent. Great. Good talk, fam. Okay. A couple announcements at the buzzer. Everyone hit the thumbs up button. Remember, a couple things. Get on the email list. Go to makeemailswoleagain.com. Another epic email going out today. Also, we have some epic sales going on for 4th of July. Check out all the brand new merch. We got water bottles. We got camouflage hats and shit like that. We got Make America Swole. We got some awesome new designs. Get 20% off all 4th of July merch with code USA. We got bucket hats. We have the Swole Acceptance red hats and camo GTTFG. It's fire. We have tie-dye hats and we got water bottles and shit. Check it all out. And remember, for the USA code on all 4th of July merch over there at papaswolio.com. All right. And of course, in closing, Roundtable 45 this Thursday, June 15th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Be there, join us, swolenormousx.com to get access to all the uncensored content. and all the full programs, meditation, thousands of recipes, elimination, diet, Swollen 7, brain gains, everything inside Swolenormous X. Check it out. And this is Thursday, 6 p.m., so the episode will be private. Fucking fire. Now let's get into today's Swole card. Tainty Magooch time. Who's a Tainty Magooch? Who's a Tainty Magooch? Who's a Tainty Magooch? Foul done. I think we got a winner. I like this for today's winner. You know what? It's going to Nate. It's going to fucking Nate today. Congratulations! Nate's Swole fan post was Liddy McTitterson. Oh my God. Nate in law enforcement, thank you for your service. Maybe you can make law enforcement swole again. And finally, casting off his old Tainty Magooch self. So we need Nate to not be a Tainty Magooch. So carry the torch for everyone who needs to not be a Tainty Magooch. Great fucking post. We're stoked to have you in the Swole fam, and we're extra stoked that you are plugging in and looking to make this a lifelong positive change. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 25 Schneidefau. In the subject, your mailing address in the body of the email. Congratulations, Nathaniel. Congratulations. Swole Spartan says, I just want to say, Swole fam, I'm down 37 pounds in 3 weeks. Let's fucking go.
Sam!
Let's get some soundboard requests, fam.
Sam!
Who's ready?
Sam!
Look at the church. You're so cute. A little massage, you're looking tense.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
Aw, she's so cute.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense. Well, I could be wrong, but I believe diversity is an old wooden ship that was used during the Civil War era.
Shut up, bitch!
God damn it, I don't know what it is about your face, but I want to deliver one of these right in your suck hole.
Is there anything I can do to work on that?
No, not really, it's your face.
Ah, get it? All right, that was like that Saturday Night Live skit. The armpits? Yeah, superstar. All right, fam, thank you so much for being here. Oh, sorry. I crank up that hog. Thanks for being here. We'll see you tomorrow for 25 Schneidefau. And of course, on Thursday for the roundtable. But tomorrow, $25.95 is going to be fire. Thanks for being here. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, all that good shit. Check the links below for everything that we talked about today, especially if you're brand new. And of course, make sure you leave us a 5-star review on the Apple Podcast, Spotify, anywhere you bang your ear holes. And share the stream with your friends. Thanks for being here. Peace, McGeese, Deuce, Magoose, your boy Papa Swolio. Out.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock's crashing. Like an IPO trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now the king left and they so mad, it's like
then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in a fanny pack, couple hundred in a Louis bag.
That's a bag that you made. That's a bag that you made. That's a bag that you made. That's a bag that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint chill. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. On topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm in my